So today we're doing a different style of video. We're going out to some of my favorite thrift stores in Webster, New York. They have quite a broad selection of board games, so we're going to go and see what kind of odd, niche, weird board games that exist there. My favorite board games, the ones I tend to pick up the most frequently, are ones that look more conventional, but have like a different mechanic to it. So like, I don't go for these medieval themed, hand-painted ones. I like simple graphics with simple text. Those are more visually appealing to me, but with a spin on it, like Word Yahtzee. A lot of these spin-offs of board games I discover organically from thrift stores, and that is what we will be looking for this time. Ah! Ah, shit.
You got some crazy stuff today, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Four-way countdown. Oh!
It shut the box! Yes. It shut the box before we shut the box!
It's like 4 boxes.
And look, it's something really stupid. It's Sequence but bad. Bad. It's made by the same people
It's from the makers of Sequence. The makers of Hell.
Yeah.
I also found this. This is
What?
Feed the Meter Free Parking. It looks...
Of course it's bad.
Okay, that's like... There's like some sort of equipment violation. Look at this guy, he knows. I reached for this Luigi board because I needed one for a video, but I put it back because it's some obnoxiously branded Stranger Things one. Didn't like it. This tiny chess set caught my eye. The plastic was peeling up a bit, and I was confused as to if these were buttons or what they were on the side, but I still picked it up. What game?
Heart attack.
Oh, is that like Uno?
It's like Uno, but it's like...
Like the Uno?
Yeah, it is.
Here, pick that up.
I don't know how much it is. It doesn't have anything on it.
Oh, it's okay. Here's a cashier's favorite thing. If it doesn't have a price, you should go, oh, it must be free then. They like when you do that.
You know what?
They just get a huge chuckle every time.
You know what I do when I'm at work is, I say, no, that means I get to choose the price. So it depends on how nice they are to me.
I just say they should die.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody where I work just doesn't. And then
It's just for... I took a look at this Jeopardy game to feed my autistic game show obsession, but it looked absolutely terrible. I'm pretty sure there wasn't even a way to indicate that a clue was selected in this game, so I put it back. What a waste. Now here is an interesting discovery. It's a variation on Monopoly Junior, except there's 2 different game modes with different levels of complexity for different ages. As the child grows up, you go from the simpler version to the more complex version, then Monopoly Junior, regular Monopoly, Mega Monopoly, and then they just become a damn realtor, and then they become president of the United States. It's a simple 6-step plan. Kind of interesting, but I figured I'd leave it for an actual child to buy instead of a man-child like myself. Now, if you know what this thing was, then you know why I put this right in the cart, without hesitation. More on this later.
never get.
Music trivia.
1984, none of us would get any of this.
I took a look at these interesting board games to discover that these interesting board games weren't interesting or board games. They were toy microscopes. Now, surprisingly, I've never heard of this game Careers, and I thought it looks pretty neat, but I did not pick it up. However, it seems me and it were cosmically fated, as I received an even older copy of it from my father for Christmas.
It is perfectly puzzling why they would make a puzzle about women. Oh, you gotta get that.
Challenge Yahtzee.
You gotta get that. How old is that? Oh my god.
Old enough. It's $2.49. It's probably missing pieces, but it's just dice.
It is.
One of the things I definitely appreciate more about thrift stores in comparison to dedicated board game stores is that you can usually open up the box to see what's inside of it if it's complete, And most importantly, you can get a great idea on how fun it will be by handling the components.
It's from ES Low, so that's before they became Milton Bradley.
They had a big wall of assorted junk in bags, trying to make them just a little easier to sell. This is actually where I got most of my McDonald's board games before I even decided to make this channel or make that video. These bags, if you're wondering, are seated conveniently opposite to the adult diaper section of the thrift store, parallel to the remaining toys, as is standard. I grew up with a single dad for most of my life in a tiny RV, and while he undeniably did the best he could due to limited space and limited funds, toys were a bit few and far between for us, so I always browse the toy section to see if I can satisfy some of my childhood wants with my adult money. They did have this snazzy metallic knockoff Nerf gun that reminded me of the guns from Killer Bean, but truthfully I didn't care for it too much, so I put it back. Now this is choice gaming. Kinda regret putting this one back, honestly.
I don't want Jumanji.
Why?
Because it's not Jumanji.
I played it.
It's not gonna teleport me into a...
Oh, shut up. Wait. Gimme. I didn't see that. Gimme. That's my childhood game.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
Quebec.
What the It's tic-tac-toe, but it's
Quebec.
weird.
Cubic. Cubic is
Do you
probably
want
how
it?
it's pronounced.
Do you want? It's
How
from
much?
1972.
Yeah, that's like 3D tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Yes, get that. That's like a game we would play in school. 3D tic-tac-toe.
I was gonna grab this.
Oh, I'm also getting these
What'd you find?
upwards tiles.
Yeah. They have one of these here. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
it's
just
like,
saw it.
I don't want to buy it just to take the tiles out. Extreme reality.
Extreme reality.
It's in pretty bad
condition.
shape. I'll see if I can talk to them about this.
Oh, what? That is.
If they can like put it down like $2.49 or something. Ooh, I do need this.
Why?
I need it for a prop for a video.
There's another Ouija board.
Yeah, but it's like the Stranger Things
No, there's one more.
gayness. What are we looking at? Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course.
I saw one. Right. Oh no, that was the one I saw. Never mind.
Yeah, come on. I could get another one of these.
I see if it.
See if does this have corroded
yeah,
batteries?
yeah, check it.
Is that mold?
Where?
Just on the plastic. Well, what is that?
I don't know, but it smells weird.
I can smell that the batteries are corroded, and you can see it's bulging out the. That's awesome. Why is it all of these? There we go. That was really cool, though.
It smells weird, but.
Well, look at it. There's mold on it, so probably buy it online for like $10.
Yeah.
Is this like their response to Connect 4? Even though
Is it-
Milton
is that
Bradley made
another-
Connect 4?
Is that another?
Yeah, let's get that. And with that, I think that's it for here.
They had a complete catalog of every DVD set of Friends already out of order, and about 900 copies of the movie Elf for your holiday needs.
And this is the haul we got. If you're wondering, everything cost this much, because this was filmed way later than the previous segment. So who knows? Who knows if the dollar even maintained its value in that time? The first thing we've got here is this mini sensory chess challenge thing. Now, it seems kind of strange why I'd pick this up. It's just a chess set, but if you look carefully, it has LEDs all across each side of it. That's because this is a chess computer. Something that I like about this is that it uses physical pieces instead of those little, like, handheld things where you gotta use arrow keys and button combinations, and this is just the purest analog of chess you can get. I don't know why the bishops have red caps on them, and I can't even tell you any of this because usually I don't even do research for videos to begin with. I just know shit off the dome. I know it's by Fidelity Electronics. I know that it came out in this year. And I know that I have poor motor skills and can't put the damn pieces in the board. Here's a pro tip, guys. If you are 16 years old and want to do like an edgy short film where you're out in the cold and it's snowing, even though it might be part of the artistic expression to like not wear gloves or a jacket or any sort of protection of any kind, like, you know, a caveman might have worn, which is what that made them survive and Neanderthals die. Just wear some shit to protect your hands, otherwise you might permanently lose feeling in your fingertips and make you look like a total imbecile later on. All you need to do, the move, is to press down the piece and then push it to where you want it to go. And then it will think about its move. Kind of like Monty, where it needs time to think, but not nearly as much. So this guy wants to move d7 to d5. Now he thinks he's tricking me here. He's trying to bait me to get that pawn so he can bring his queen out. I've seen this shit before. So he's capturing my pawn like that. And of course it's a he, because a woman couldn't do nearly this good at basic chess. It's neat. It's neat. I don't know if this is something that I'll break out, because, you know, I'd probably rather use chess.com. But maybe if I want to have like an isolated chess experience, it would be nice to have something that just plays chess at the cost of only fucking 6 AA batteries. Jesus.
This next one here is a spin-off I've never seen before, which is why it wasn't covered in the weird spin-offs of board games that you've never seen, because, believe it or not, there are more weird spin-offs than just the ones I covered. A lot more weird ones, enough to even justify a sequel video. The way this game works is you set it up. Well, obviously you set it up.
So everyone starts at 0 in Violation. There's a tray of cards, including the second chance cards, which look a lot like the chance cards from the original game.
Start the game, you deal each player 5 cards. On their turn, they may either play one of their cards, which can give them more minutes, it can cost other players minutes, or it can force other players to spend cards that they did not want. They can also draw from the deck here, which has more of the same playing cards, obviously, or from the second chance deck, if you so choose to, which will have more risky things. You're the only one, you poor slob, who moves his meter to 0. Poor slob, Jesus. You know, Sir Rich and Uncle Pennybags is such a good conservative figure for us. Now, you might think that, you know, it's a little strange to start on 0. Like, you would think that this is the end state of the game, but what you're actually trying to do is gain 200 points in total. Meanwhile, everyone's passing cards along with each other. Doesn't really have anything at all to do with Monopoly, like, not even a fucking hint, but it's kind of like, Uno, actually. I guess because it's a card game. But there's different ways you can play your cards to add minutes, cost other players minutes, etc. And, I like these second chance cards because it has more risk than the normal cards, and it can really harm or hurt a player depending on how desperate they are to win the game. And also, I just like these, like, apparatus-y things. I'm a huge sucker for games that require a specific apparatus to play them with. However, overall, I would say the gameplay seems kinda weak. But, you know, I'll play it and maybe I'll like it. The next thing we got here is Quebec. You might say, oh, that's pronounced cubic. Quebec. Q does not make the sound Q. That doesn't make any damn sense. Speak American. Now here's a fun thing about getting board games from thrift stores, is that even though a lot of them will supply a rubber band to go over it, which is perfectly normal and socially acceptable, they will also add masking tape onto these decades-old board games, which are in really good condition if they didn't have the fucking tape on it. So you gotta really carefully remove it. It's bad enough that Savers has to put this oversized price tag that has fucking super glue under it. But, like, seriously, this game came out in 1972, looks fucking great, and they have to put this shit on and this shit on. It's like, just be normal.
Parker Brothers and General Mills, I wonder what that's about. I will remove this tape from the box at a later point, getting like a hairdryer or something, but cutting it right now won't damage the box at all. If you're wondering, this is like a 3D tic-tac-toe game, kind of like that game called, I don't know, 3D tic-tac-toe. You might have played it if you graduated 5th grade. Here's another problem with getting games from thrift stores. Why you can usually get a pretty good price on it, $2.49. This is broken pretty significantly. Now, it's still totally functional and intact, but it really just kind of tarnishes some of the enjoyment I get out of it. But, you know, the most important thing to me is if it still plays, and this looks like it will still play. So, I mean, the gameplay seems like it should be pretty obvious. Players will just take turns putting chips in the different tiers here, and we'll try to create a tic-tac-toe horizontally, vertically, diagonally, or through 3 of the 4 platforms here. It kind of reminds me of like the 3D chess things from Star Trek. You know the ones. I think it's quite interesting when board game companies try to publish tic-tac-toe spin-offs or just tic-tac-toe games in general, because it's like, it's tic-tac-toe. It's a pen and pencil game. You can play it for free. They'll sell tic-tac-toe unabridged for like $15 at Marshall's. And also on the back they'll include like instructions how to play. It's like, dude, how did you make it to the fucking store if you're buying this? Another version that I've got here, which I did not get from this thrift store, is Tic-Stack-Toe, the world's favorite game of X's and O's. Goes extreme. Bonus 3x3 game board included, so that you could play tic-tac-toe. Finally, I have a way to. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to play this game, so I can't even really give my opinion on it. It's just, like, it's tic-tac-toe. You expect me to get excited over it? Ow. It's been so long since I even bought this game that the rubber band I used completely deteriorated, so it's outlasted the lifespan of rubber. This is kind of cool, though. I think I would play this again. I think I would play this sincerely. I'm quite disappointed that it's broken, but it's still functional, and that's all that matters. Our next game is a spin-off of our favorite game, Kazink. This is a spin-off of Sequence to make it even more simple, because, you know, we all remember Sequence and how complicated and circuitous that game was, so this is Kazink. Stack them up, 3 in a row. Play a card from your hand, place a chip on the board, stack up 3 of your chips, and it's a crown. 2 rows of 3 crowns, you win. There's some terrible bars right there. So as you can see here, instead of the original Sequence, it just has the suits of cards instead of playing cards. Check this out. The people that turned this into the thrift store didn't even have the common courtesy or common sense to make all the cards go the same way. That's the mentality of a Sequence player right there, I'm telling you. Does this really need this many rules? Like, is this game really that hard? So there are 2 ways you can win this. Instead of the original Sequence where you were trying to get 5 in a row, you can win either by stacking 3 of your chips up on the same space, or by having 3 in a row of 2 chips that are crowned. Now, unlike the original where you're just trying to get 5 in a row, would be a little bit difficult on this grid, what you're trying to do is you're trying to connect 3 consecutive stacking chips of the same color stacked vertically, or by playing a crown card. So yeah, you're trying to get 3 in a row, but you're trying to get 2 on each of the ones you're getting 3 in a row. There are a couple of cards with special abilities, like the crown card I already mentioned, a wild card, which allows you to play on any space, and the double up card, which lets you do 2 moves at the same time. Because it's such a deeply strategic game, of course, you know, you'd love to do 2 moves instead of 1. I don't know, it's like literally the same thing as Sequence, so it's just simpler. Like, how much simpler are they gonna make it? Like, the next version of Sequence that comes out is just gonna have 2 spaces. You win and you lose. If anything, though, I do like how the printing looks on these custom tokens here. It feels kind of premium, at least, so it has that over the original. Oh my god, they're just, it's a plague. It's disease. It's a condition. What the hell's wrong with you, Jax Limited? For fun and games. That's so clever, because they're a game company. I get it. Jesus Christ. Stop! Stop! How tall am I? This sent me back $4.49 in case you were wondering. Game instructions in English and Spanish. There's nothing to read. What do you mean? One of the stranger things that you might have noticed I picked up is this bag of tiles here. This bag of tiles is to a game of Upwards, which, as I'm sure you know, I already have. Here's the thing. I wanted these for the door to the situation room of my house where I film most of my videos. As you might have noticed in the banner of my channel, the word die is spelled out in Upwards tiles because that's the only other game with letters that I could think of. I had the tiles to my game of Upwards and I was thinking about using those for the door, but I was like, I don't want to spend these tiles and just make an incomplete set. So I got another copy of Upwards. And then I was like, well then, if I take the tiles out of this one, then this copy won't be complete. So I was like, I'll just avoid the issue and just buy the tiles directly online from the third party. I don't know how he got those tiles. I don't know if he dismembered a copy of Upwards, and that's not my problem. So I order it from this fucking hack on eBay. He has a picture of the serif font version of Upwards. Gives me this fucking eyesore. What is this, a fucking movie theater marquee? He gave me the sans serif version and not the serif version. So I saw these. It's $2. Again, I don't know what poor copy of Upwards had to die for this, but it's not my problem. But it's not the exact same font I used in the logo, but it has serifs on it, so it will satisfy the visual parody. To me, at least. So this is just fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna fully dox this person on this channel in 3, 2... When I was in college, I had a lot of my board games in my dorm out for everyone to see and play. And this was the game that easily got the most use. Shut the Box. If you're unfamiliar, all you're trying to do is shut the box. Players roll the dice, and then they put the total down between the two dice. So let's say they rolled a 4. Now, they can put down the 4, but if they are bad at the game, they can put down a 3 and 1 if they so choose. Gameplay continues until they can no longer shut the box. And that's it. It's really hard, actually, in fact, statistically extremely improbable to shut the box, so you're just playing to see who can get farther. I know that there's very little strategy, if at all, in this game. And I know I derided Sequence because it doesn't have any form of strategy, despite it calling itself a strategic game. But number one, this game isn't calling itself a strategic game. Never mind. But number one, this game is just, it's really fun if you hype it up and act like everything you're doing is directly your decision. Like, let's say, oh, you need a 4 and a 12, and you roll an 8. Oh, why'd you roll an 8? You needed a 4. What are you doing? You can do gags like that. It never gets old at all. But that's not what I got from the thrift store, because we got a 4-way countdown shut the box game. This one costs $1.99, and you see why. There are no dice with it. So let's just get my bag of dice and see the closest match I've got. White dice with red pips. And look at that. I got 2 ready to go right there. The players can take turns rolling around the board and playing. Now, this is slightly different from the other version in that it only goes up to 10 instead of 12. So it's not as hard to shut the box if you're playing with conventional rules. However, there's also a math challenge variant where you can add, subtract, divide, and multiply. So let's say you want to do that. Now, that could either be a 7, it could be a 3, or it could be a 10, or I guess it could be a 2.5 if you want to be an asshole. This version here is meant to be an educational toy to teach kids the 4 functions of math. They can use the numbers strategically to decide what would be optimal for them in that current situation. Other interesting rules that they just included, just for no fucking reason, I guess. But be careful, roll a double 6 and all of your keys go back down. Roll an 11 and all your opponent's keys go back down. So if you roll anything higher than a 10, then you're either pretty much guaranteed to lose or are entirely guaranteed to lose. Well, like, I don't know. That's just a recommendation from them. They just gave me the equipment to use, and I'll be using it with normal rules. Thank you very much. Ideal, if that even is your real name. Speaking of dice, we've got Challenge Yahtzee. This is another weird spin-off of a conventional board game. Dice game, I guess? Now, this is different from the original Yahtzee, whereas everyone takes turns rolling and seeing what they can do. Because in this version, there are dice that each player get that go into each of their playing boards, and they're playing from the same communal set of dice. Now, unfortunately, this did not come with the big dice, which is why it was only $2.49, but we can take a look here. Red dice with white pips. Cool. Well, apparently I don't have those, so we're just gonna use regular old dice. Sorry to all the Challenge Yahtzee purists out there. Now, unfortunately, because I got this from the thrift store, it also didn't come with, like, any paper at all. All the paper's been thoroughly used and abused by Jerry's car at web.tv.net. Thanks, Jerry, for the fucking self-promotion, asshole. Unsolicited, too. But it's just normal Yahtzee, so you could just use regular sheets of Yahtzee if you would like to. Roll the dice. That wasn't supposed to happen. Now, this game is posited in a way to try and outthink your opponents with the same hands of Yahtzee. Oh, I made it to the top. How come you didn't? So you will configure your own dice into the pattern on the board, and you will decide what dice you want to keep. So if you're intelligent, you'll go for the 2, 3, 4, 5. Meanwhile, your opponent might already have that, so they're going to decide to go for the 3s. The dice are then rolled again. Now, there's nothing that player 2 can use, and there's nothing that I can use, so we'll just roll one more time. And we got 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3. Now, because I got the 1, I can put my 1 down and get my large straight, which nets me 40 points. Meanwhile, because my opponent went for the 3s, they are stuck with the full house, which only nets them 25. And because I'm super strategic and clairvoyant, I was able to see that I was outplaying my opponent there. It definitely wasn't random. I mean, I'm not going to complain about Yahtzee being random, because it's Yahtzee, that's the point of it. But, like, it's really dumb to be like, you play your way, I'll play mine. And a lot of the marketing for more modern versions of Challenge Yahtzee try to incorporate it as like, you have to outthink your opponents. If you're smarter, you can win. But it's in the dice. Whoever was going to win has already been decided by quantum physics. Quantum physics? What the fuck am I fucking talking about? Am I actually retarded? Jesus Christ. Wow, you really impressed everyone with that highly intelligent joke where you didn't even get in, like, the same branch of fucking physics. Fuck. And of course it did suffer from the risk of not having all the pieces because I bought it from a thrift store, but at least it has all the cute little tiny dice. I don't know if it was super easy to see, but these are about like 25% smaller. Adorable. Topple. Don't let topple as you try to score points. This isn't really a board game necessarily, but it does have a die and plastic playing pips, so I guess you be the judge, smart guy. You put the topple on the topple stick, and players will assume the roles of each of the 4 races in Topple Land.
Twitted my fucking tipple!
So because they rolled a 6, the first player will have to put tipple topples on the tippy top of the topple board, the because this is a 95% pure strategy game. Now, there is some chance with just the die here, which for some reason is made of a weird kind of rubbery material, not a normal die. But you can outplay your opponents just by having self-control and being careful. Just don't topple the tip-top, big lap. I don't know. It's a fun game. It's just a fun game. But you can already tell how it's played from, like, the picture on the box. So, like, I don't even, what's there for me to even explain? There, that's it. That's a topple. You get it? It's like Jenga with an element of randomness to it. Snapshot. A very revealing game. What if that doesn't mean it in the way that they're implying it to? Like, you know,
oh, it's kind of risque, but it's actually like blackmailing you. Like it has pictures of you cheating on your wife or something.
Now, unfortunately for me, this game did not come with instructions. However, I've seen concentration before, so I think I can infer how this works. So in the game here, there are a lot of pictures of common household objects. In this game, there's a lot of pictures of common items and household objects. What you're meant to do is slide the picture under all these doors here. Now, I'm not quite sure at this point what happens next if there's something you need to do to earn a chip. What I assume happens is you randomly draw a chip, for example, number 11, and then you open door number 11. With every chip that's drawn, you get a piece of the puzzle revealed to you. Now, this is all just based on logic and inferences, but I imagine with every door that opens, you are then allowed to guess what the picture is behind these doors. And if you guess it, I assume you get a point, and you're trying to get a certain amount of points to win the game. I like this physical mechanism here to obscure the board. A worse board game publisher would have put like cards or something gay to put on top of it. It's like, that's not fun. But that's not fun at all. This is easy to set and reset, and it's very satisfying too, I should say. And honestly, it's very clever how they were able to reveal on the inside here with these inside 8 panels while only using 2 hinges that are also the same hinges for resetting the entire mechanism. Pretty genius, actually. Strata 5. We got a lot of board games with numbers in them this time. Do we? Am I imagining that? I guess 4-Way Countdown had a number in it. I'm losing my fucking mind seeing what happens, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to build your blocks as high as possible. There's like some number shit. But like, look, I don't know, man. I got a fucking tapestry to read through. I'm just not gonna do it. Not doing it. No, over. Looks cool, though. Well, I wonder if this reminds me of another game that came out in the 1990s that had cards and attack in the title. I must be imagining things. Came out in 1991 by Parker Brothers. Meanwhile, at the time, there was this game being published called Uno Attack by Mattel, who did and still does to this day publish Uno. I'm sure it's just got to be a coincidence with, you know, wild cards and green 5s and stuff. They just, I mean, they didn't invent numbers and colors, Uno. They didn't invent a device that launches cards at you randomly. Kinda did, but... Alright, place your bets now. Are the batteries gonna be normal batteries that normal people would have in a normal household? If you guys C batteries, I feel sorry for you. No, I don't have C batteries because I'm a person that lives in the 21st century. This is cute. I heart Terra. This is pretty cute, though. I have a little scoreboard here from August 30th of 1994 of Dave the Great and Terra Stinktoes facing off against one another. Now, while some of the cards do seem quite familiar, because I can't get the damn thing to work because it's a product of the 1990s. Alright, well, I finally got some C batteries, so let's see if we can give this a shot. I'm gonna remove these screws and see if there's something that's not right under the hood. Taking a peek under the hood here, it actually has quite an interesting mechanism. You press the button to squeeze that spring, which turns this wheel, and if these 2 metal connectors go over one of these bumps, it's supposed to connect to this, which completes a circuit, and activates the motor for as long as these gaps are. So if you notice, they're different lengths, so it gives it a random amount of cards. That's how it should work in theory, but unfortunately, whoa, hang on. It works! I do quite like the design here. The deck of cards goes in like this, and I love these colors and the shape here. It seems like it was trying to be Uno Attack in, like, 1% change. Not even like the 10% change rule in business. This is a 1% change at best.
Wow, it'd be real embarrassing if this was like a Heathcliff situation where this actually came before the thing I'm accusing of copying it. It's a good thing that totally didn't happen, though. It's a good thing that Uno Attack definitely did not come out after Card Attack. It's a good thing.
If I get a chance to play it, hopefully it is an improvement to Uno, because Uno, like, is an insufferable game to play. Top 3 reasons why. Number 1, nobody knows how to fucking play it. Oh, I think you could put 2 cards down because it's the same number. And, oh, I gotta say Uno out. These aren't rules to the fucking game. Number 2, the people who want to play Uno are the most obnoxious motherfuckers. They are so resolute that they can beat you at the game. They are tricked by the bastards at Mattel that they can strategically outmaneuver you. It's fucking cards. And number 3, enough of the fucking gimmicks. Get wild, Uno. You can do your own custom wild cards where the obnoxious people that play it, that are over certain on how they know how to play the game, can write their own dumbass rules. Doesn't that sound like fun? Fuck you, Mattel. I hope Hasbro absorbs Mattel. Just one big congenious blob of board games. And they just delete Uno. Make it into Zero. That's 0, right? Ouija. This game was the game that made me realize I didn't love my ex anymore. I got one of these for a video, and they were like, "Get that fucking thing out of my house! You're gonna haunt the damn house!" That was the day I was like, "Oh my god, you are like, you're a 24-year-old adult and you believe in fucking ghosts. It's insane." Honestly, I only got this because I needed it for a video. You guys know what an Ouija board is. Alright, Ouija board. Does Bruno Mars is gay? Does Pauly Maloney is gay? Wow, it's saying no, guys. Honestly, I mean, this isn't a board game. This isn't a game. It's just published by Parker Brothers. It's sold in a board game box, and I was under the impression that Ouija boards were boards, but it's just the same material you'd use for like any other board game, maybe a little bit higher quality. I like the conceit behind this though, where they're selling a way to talk to the dead, and they're trying to put a patent on it. Well, it is strange though that it was one of the more expensive games, because it was $5.49 and listed under seasonal. We bought this in November. I don't know what the fuck you mean. And this is the final one. This is a childhood classic that I always wanted. Mind Flex. Or $5.99. Think it, move it, believe it. That reminds me of like Brian Griffin's book from that episode of Brian Griffin. Alright, here it is. The Mind Flex. Hundreds of obstacle combinations. Customize the course with 9 interchangeable obstacles set up with a series of mental blocks. You can imagine. So the mind control works, but the actual fan does not.
It had to be the Biden administration.
Had to be. Shipping $141? What the fuck are they on? Alright, this is tested for all brains though. No, fuck you, Allstate. Alright, I guess we gotta wait for it to come in. Because even though it didn't work, that's part of the risk you take with thrift stores. So we're gonna wait for this to come in by December 12th. That's really soon from now. And see how it works. I'm really excited for this. Well, it seems the seller did not understand what these are trying to say, because he's got the matter components in the mind box and the little mind control device in the matter box. Come on. And the last piece, of course, the actual game board itself. And inside here, we've got some complimentary energizers from the seller. And the inside here, we've got some Rayovacs. So there's no brand loyalty here. This guy plays all sides. Fucking centrist. Although, it seems these expired in December 2016. So maybe I will replace the batteries of this. And, you know, I'm gonna let sleeping dogs lie with that one. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. There's this solid metal nodule thing that goes directly in the middle of your forehead. And with how tight you need to have this to even stay on your head, it's really not pleasant. Combined with these little clips you gotta put on your earlobes, like some child that's not old enough to get their ears pierced, and it really is an insanely uncomfortable experience. However, it might be all worth it for mind control. One of my balls is messed up. 0 out of 10. I'm actually legitimately very excited for this.
Begin.
Let's make it go up.
Calibrating headset.
It died. It didn't like that.
Calibrating headset.
Calibrating to what? Is it gonna reset my brain? By staring at the ball, I can kind of make it go up. It's going crazy. And I can make it go back down by kind of relaxing. Try and defeat me now, mortals. Sorry, my brain just turned off there for a second. So, let's set up some obstacles. Hang on. Not yet, Bubba. Alright. This is the greatest contraption of all time. I'm not really good at this, so I'm hoping I can at least get it to here, to the seesaw thing. Let's go. It keeps going down right before it. You son of a bitch! Come on! Kick it! Ah! Go! Ah! Ah! I can't make you do anything. Oh, oh, oh. Relax it just a little. Just a little. Stop. It's just going all over it. Yeah! Put it on the seesaw. Come on. Damn it. Yeah. This little clover leaf thing. What is that? What does that accomplish? That seems a little unfair. I'm not gonna do that one. You guys remember that show Wipeout? This is the Wipeout of the future. Oh, you fucking bitch. Don't quit. Last stretch. No. No. Come on. No. This is some of the most fun I've had with a fucking game in a long time. This is really quite a cool thing. I'm really glad that I picked this up from the thrift store and then subsequently online from eBay. You know, obviously, you have some risk of, you know, it not working out of the box when you buy something from the thrift store, especially if it's electronic, but it can still introduce you to some neat things. I don't think I'd have ever bought this if I didn't buy it broken from the thrift store, so I'm glad that I went and I got this. Now let's take this fucking thing off. Ah!